Welcome back to F&N. I am John Ramdeen alongside Robin Black, and coming up this Friday night, Edmonton, Alberta will play host to Triumph FC. It will feature a 125-pound matchup with one of Canada's best prospects in Yoni Sherbatov, and we had a chance to talk to the talented individual in his home city of Laval, Quebec.
Now, Yoni, you and I are having this conversation right now. It seems like it's the most personality I've seen out of you. It's mixed martial arts right now. We know that there's combat involved, there's skill development, but there also seems, in order to get big fights, to get noticed, is to be a character. What do you think of that aspect of the game?
I honestly think that it's over-exaggerating to try to show off and be somebody else. But if this is bring the payday on the table, and you have to, fake to make it. I feel sad for people who do it. Me, I'm who I am. From my perspective, I like to say who am I, and simply just do my work in the ring and take care of people in front of me. That's it.
Talk about this journey. You've been doing martial arts for a long time. Did you understand, or did you think that it was going to be your entire life, that you were going to dedicate your abilities, your mind to the development of martial arts, and that it would help feed your family?
It's a good question, because I thought I'll become a doctor or maybe an astronaut, but no, it was meant for me. I started doing martial arts since I'm 5 years old, and dodging my father's kicking and punching me because I was not listening. But in general, yeah, my path was towards martial arts. I even went sports school, and there I was doing half a study, and then the other half I was doing my sports like taekwondo, and then going boxing. So I was doing many martial arts since I'm a kid, and now I end up doing pro fights. And the one who pushed me to more towards that direction was Andy. He was telling me, "Oh, you're gonna be good in MMA. You're gonna be good in MMA." I was let me finish my amateur career now. I finished my amateur career, and I'm doing my pro fights.
What has martial arts taught you about yourself? What have you learned, if anything, about yourself that you didn't know before?
The respect, very important in martial arts. I'm not maybe like the other athletes in the MMA. They're very arrogant, some of them. I mean, I like to respect my opponents. Discipline. Discipline, I think, is the number one thing to be able to be successful in sports or martial arts or anything in life. So martial arts did help me in discipline.
What's interesting is people consider Canada one of the hotbeds of mixed martial arts, Quebec in particular. But it seems right now you look at 125-pound division, one of the developing divisions. I think that people that understand the sport realize the 25ers are fast, they're skilled. How do you open that? How do you believe that the masses, the big audience, how can they get attached to it right now? Because it seems like it's a difficult challenge to try to sell the 125-pounders to this big audience. They seem that they want to see the big guys, they want to see big knockouts. As a athlete, what do you feel that your responsibility is to show what you guys are capable of to the world?
Yeah, for sure. I understand a lot of people look at that knockout punches, but what we have that maybe the big guys don't have is the being able to scramble, create situations that you will never see that with heavyweights. A good example, when you look at John Jones, that's the style that you're gonna look at 125-pound. But with a 125-pound, that's what you see: elbows, knees, kicks, and then from a elbow you have a takedown. It's something that you're never gonna see that in heavyweight. So I think that people if people don't want to watch this because they're missing the idea behind that that's what martial art is. It's not the two guys standing and one who has the big punch finishes. It's the one who can put all that together and marry all the martial arts and show our abilities.
The goal, obviously, is to get as good as you possibly can. In a short amount of time, you've done that. And it seems it's very difficult for you to get a lot of fights. You have to travel to go and get fights. You need the fights to get the experience to go to the big show. Has this been frustrating, this experience for you?
Yes, a little bit, because it's I'm not getting younger. And 3 years ago I was 24, and I was able to have more fights and be able to right now to be in a big show at 27, you know. But because of people not wanting to fight me, it slows me down, and it's a waste of time, you know. And time, it's the essence of life.
But you also decided to spend time boxing. Those are opportunities.
Yeah.
Talk about the similarities and the differences from competing in mixed martial arts and boxing.
It's two different worlds. It's two different. The approach, the mental approach. If you're a fighter, you're a fighter. It doesn't change. But there's two different approaches. That the athletes are completely different. Guys are willing in boxing, willing to exchange more because that's their job. Punching. There's no other aspect you cannot use wrestling or anything. So yeah, people wait less. In MMA, you have more time to think, to create something. In boxing, it's your guy in front of you and he wants to punch you. You gotta react right away. You know.
Tyson Nam coming up on April 22nd. Obviously, he's in your sights. The pure focus is on him. But you also have other focuses. You know what the end result is to get the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Is it easy to stay balanced, to stay focused on one thing, even though your focus is on something else as well?
My only focus is Tyson Nam right now. There's no other focus right now. I don't even think, I don't know what's the 23rd. I don't even know what I'm doing 24th or 25th, 26th. I'm thinking about only Tyson Nam until I finish it, and then we'll talk about different.
Do you scout Tyson Nam? Do you look at tape on him, or do you rely on your teammates and your coaches to break down the areas that they feel that you can exploit him, or do you feel that you need to be involved in that process?
We have meetings, we sit down, have a great team. We all watch together the videos, we analyze together, we discuss what he has good and bad, and then from there we create our game plan. Yeah.
How do you get better? Are you able to self-assess when you come to the academy and say, hey, I'm better now than I was yesterday? Or do you have to rely on your teammates and coaches to say, okay, we need you to work on this because we feel that you need to improve in these areas, or are you good at self-assessment?
I'm my worst critic, so yeah, I do like to put myself in the worst situation when I do something wrong. Again, we meet up with my coaches. I talk to all my coaches like this is what I did, and they give me their critic. I give myself a critic. I'm not here to tap my shoulder, say I'm the greatest fighter. I'm here to correct every mistake I do on my sparrings or technical trainings.
We've heard, we're here at your academy. We know that you travel to different places to develop your skills. What have you been doing in preparation for this fight with Nam?
Bringing guys from everywhere, so this is what helped me a lot. Different styles, taller than me because I know he's a tall opponent. So yeah, we brought a lot of people, and I was working with them. I wanted to go to New Mexico, it's just the timing was not right, but we had the opportunity to bring people.
Where do you think you've improved the most when you look over the last, say, year? Where do you think that you've improved? Is it a comfort thing for you? Is there specific areas, techniques, or combinations that you've gotten better at? Where do you feel that you've grown the most in the last year?
I definitely feel more comfortable in the octagon. It's my first house, not my second now. And you know, my wrestling aspect, my boxing aspect, even my jiu-jitsu. I mean, everything. I do everything every day. So everything when I went up with that. I've talked to a lot of fighters who say that the goal is to be free inside of the cage, to get to that comfort level where you can express yourself the way that you want to express. You seem like a very confident guy who can get to that place. I don't know if it's easy for you. Is it easy for you to get inside the cage and be free? When you start seeing your opponent in a bit slow motion, that it's a good sign. So yeah, I am free. I always felt like that. I've been competing since since I'm a child, doing so many amateur tournaments. I was more scared going back home and showing a second or third place. So that was my uncomfortable. But no, when it's time to showcase what I'm able to do, and it's time when they close the octagon or I get in the ring, I forgot about everything and I just concentrate on my opponent and I feel free.
Last thing I want to ask you, you're very, very confident, but there seems to be a lot of pressure on you. We talk about some of the best prospects in the world. Your name comes up. This is your name on the gym. Everybody believes you're destined for great things. How do you deal with that pressure?
I don't do for others. I don't think about what. I don't want to put too much pressure on thinking, oh, if I lose my gym, it's not going to work, or if I lose, my manager is going to stop talking to me, or my brothers, I don't think like that. I just go inside, I do my job, and how it's going to end up is going to end up.
Robin, Yoni Sherbatov looking to make it 6-0 as a mixed martial arts professional, dabbled in boxing. He says it's less stressful because he has to, in mixed martial arts, you have to worry about wrestling and jiu-jitsu. However, the plan was to win this fight in Edmonton against Tyson Nam and then make his way to Las Vegas, Nevada for the Ultimate Fighter tryouts. Unfortunately, the UFC has decided to scrap the tryouts. They said they're going in a different direction. They've told the management of Sherbatov to hold your horses. We apologize for the inconvenience, but we promise a big announcement will be made soon. Right now, Canada producing some of the best 25ers and 35ers in the world.
Yeah, I've talked to Sean Shelby, the UFC matchmaker of those weight classes, about Yoni specifically, and he understands how special the kid is, but he does also understand that there are a number of other ones. TJ Laramie, a young kid out of Windsor, and his brother too, and then also man-child Derek Falk from Oshawa, Ontario. I've seen this guy move in the gym, man. There's a few of these young guys, a few of these young athletes. Lindsay Garvat, she'll be at 115 pounds, so the lighter weight divisions here in Canada are looking really good.
One of the top prospects, of course, the younger brother of Firas Zahabi, Ayman Zahabi. But for Yoni Sherbatov, we talked to him, and he sees there seems to be a discrepancy when it comes to mixed martial arts in the sense that anybody can fight. If you call yourself a professional, you can go with no fight experience, you can go in there and get yourself a number of bouts. He says he and his team both believe, because he's a lifelong martial artist, he's been doing this since he was a kid, that he has a certain level of expertise that maybe some of the other pros don't have.
Yeah, and at 125, he's got a chance to prove that already a number of times. I think he'll keep proving it, and I think he'll be a top 10 flyweight in the UFC before the end of 2017 for sure. While we're talking about lighter ones, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, how about Brad Katona?
Yeah, holy
that
smokes.
Kid can fight, man. Super skilled, just has a real calmness in there. Able to, and he's been training since 13 or 14. Yeah. He was submitting me at Curtis Brigham's place in a gi about 10 years ago. This is a very, very talented kid, only in his early 20s, so another guy to keep an eye out. This is where the future of Canadian mixed martial arts is at right now. 115 women, 125, 135 men. I mean, there are some killers.
So what is the goal when we know that the talent is so deep? Do you just have to take fights wherever you can take them, get yourself in a good position, and then just wait for the eventuality that the UFC will pick you up by having good performances?
If you need a 135er, that kid man-child, Derek Falk, called Justin Bruckman at Bruckman's MMA, man. They're looking for a fight for him right now.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Robin and Firas Zahabi will break down the main event of UFC 197, OSP versus John Jones.